I like to say hello to everybody. Thanks for having invited me, especially to Ossi Orchs. And hello to everybody. I'm very happy to talk here today to you about a very important subject relating to the topic of the conference. The title of my talk is Cordless Mega Confusion. And of course I owe you some explanations. My talk will be split up into two parts. The first part is about overlapping subjectivities, which is something that is not so clear because people still think today that a subject is a very closed, hermetically closed thing. And I like to show that it's absolutely not the fact. And in my second part, I'd like to talk about technologies of overlapping subjectivities to make a little bit more clear what the whole thing is about today. So, first part, overlapping subjectivities. As I said, a subject is not a closed thing. It's open. Its borders are blurred. It may melt, it may confuse with other subjectivities. This is something that has been clear in the history of philosophy for almost every philosopher, to think that the soul is a transpersonal substance. It's not anybody's personal item. It's not a property owned by a private person. It is something that belongs to everybody. And so owners of a soul somehow meld together. They exchange parts of their souls, which means that, of course, their subjectivities are overlapping. This is something that has been clearly dealt with in debates on hypnotism in the 19th century and on in psychoanalysis too. What the whole thing was about is how you can imagine that this transfer is really working of one part of one soul into another one. Also the transfer of images, messages, of memories, of knowledge, and even of orders. We think that in what we would call a continuum of overlapping subjectivities, these things are constantly exchanged. There's something like a communication, how would you say, interpsychic, intersubjective communication. It means that everybody, every single subject has something like Leibniz would have called confused perceptions. Confused perceptions means that it's a type of perception that is shared by many subjects, which are hence connected because they exchange these perceptions. So this is what I would call more or less an ontological basis for what we could call an analysis of contemporary media world. This is, I would say, the ontological framework that, and the principle of it is that the psyche is not, the soul is not a subjective item. It's a transpersonal thing. So, okay. Then I go to my second part, dealing with technologies of overlapping subjectivities. Because it might be good, of course, if you know that subjectivities are overlapping and you receive informations by others, by intuition, by feelings, by moods and atmospheres. That's very good. But this was not enough. It's evident that there was a search for making this exchange more fit, more well-working by technologies of communication to avoid misreadings, to avoid misunderstandings, and to avoid that somebody's message would just disappear. So somehow the whole development of contemporary technologies of communication is about to support the transfer, to support confusion, as I would say, confusion as the mingling together of split parts of a soul. It means of confusion, to support confusion as a mode of sharing soul. So there are, of course, primitive technologies to support overlapping subjectivities, as everybody knows, primitive, yeah, primitive, like language, of course. What I'm doing here is nothing else than using language. As a philosopher, I don't use images, I don't use a video except this one, where I'm myself present, which is, of course, very much logic, to be present in a media conference by means of a video. So technologies of language, technologies of imagery, of course, image transfer, letters, mails, painting, writing, printing. All these are horizons in which mingling and overlapping subjectivities share souls. So the more modern ones have to do with the groundbreaking discovery of electricity. So if the older ones, that I would say, have to do with producing science in a more material way, the electronic or electric age, using photography, telephony, film, and electronic media, work on a different level. This change is very, very important. Electricity makes communication an integral part of the system Earth, because electricity is a quality, is a property, is a genuine property of the Earth system. It means that all of a sudden communicating has again a lot to do with being, because the way we are here in this system Earth, and the way we are exchanging our messages, are very much congruent with each other. It means that communication gets something like an energetic signature. It's an energetic, it's not only a semiotic signature, but it's an energetic signature of communication. This is a very hot point. It's a very, very hot point. The first step in this electric revolution of communication was a system of, for building up a system of communication that was structured by cables and apparatuses. So somehow it was very much organic. As cables resemble too much nerves or veins of blood circulating, you can imagine that the body of communication that was built by cables is a real, it has been a real animal, an organic body. And the second type, the second stage of electric communication, which is grounded on cordless, wave directed communication, is different to this one. It is cordless, it's invisible, So the fact that contemporary communication uses qualities of the system Earth as such is even more explicitly visible than before. It's made more explicit. somehow we communicate today in a more embedded way. It's not that we communicate and communicating is somehow something different than being, but communicating is using what is the earth made from. So we are communicating like embedded journalists. We are embedded in what I would call the infospace. The infospace is not another space, technically, culturally built within the natural space. Being in the infospace means using what this space is made from. So somehow what is happening today is a very, very interesting point, and I can only make a short remark on it. It's a sort of inversion of the body and soul relation. In former philosophy, we were thinking that the body has a soul, like the soul is inside of the body. It is, how do I say, it is closed up in the body. And the body is directed from inside of its soul. And every subject was, of course, closed and was conceived of possessing its own soul. But now things seem to be very different. It's not that the body is inhabited by the soul, it's just the other way around. It's that the body inhabits the soul. The soul is inhabited by bodies, by many bodies. The soul is the sphere in which we communicate, and our bodies are in this sphere, where we share this, what I said, cordless communication, by directing our information packages on different wavelengths. So what is happening today if we really try to imagine this fact? We inhabit altogether the soul, which is the sphere in which we are, and we exchange information by inhabiting the soul as a continuum. We would say that we live in a world of cordless mega confusion. Our souls mingle more and more together. And cordlessness is an important point because it makes the whole thing more spiritual. It makes it something that would really change our self-perception, our mode of being in this world. So I hope you got 1 or 2 or 3 of my points, and I'd like to thank you very much for your attention, and I wish a successful conference to everybody and a nice day. Thank you very much.